Hi Libra, here is a general look at your solar chart for the whole of 2015, and there is another video that I made about the overview for 2015 for all of the signs and what's going on perhaps around the world in response to the trends and the aspects over 2015, so you might like to see that one. All of this is written down on my website, by the way, so you get the Mercury retrograde dates on my website. But to start off with, there's going to be 2 solar eclipses in 2014, and the first one's on the cusp of Pisces and Aries, your opposite sign, on March the 20th. And so that will be affecting your 6th and 7th houses, and it could have a connection, a little bit of a connection with sort of fuzzy thinking, Mercury Neptune conjunction on that same day. So just be aware that you have to be clear about what somebody said, but also be clear about what you're saying and make sure that they understood. Because an eclipse energy, a solar eclipse energy, will actually unfold over the subsequent 6 months. You should be doing something within the 24-hour period. The closer to the eclipse, before the eclipse happens, the better, which is setting your intention for that coming 6 months in a very minor sort of way. It can just be one small thing, maybe even just write down a little note to yourself. I mean, just on a really minimal level, but it's to do with setting the intention. And this is the time for you to begin improvements in your life related not only to work but to health matters, your own or others. Improvements, ring the changes, bring in something to do with those 2 areas which you've been meaning to but you haven't got around to yet, but also scheduling, maybe equipment, but also to do with a very close relationship as well. So this benign neutral energy of the eclipse will allow you to bring in the change there. And then the second solar eclipse is on September the 13th in a background area, the 12th house, and so that will be the moment to begin shifting gears to do with your inner life, your obligations maybe, but also again health comes into here as well. That might be not yours, it might be others, but anything to do with meditation or artistic work is very, very connected to the 12th house as well. So a change that you can bring in to improve something to do with that area there. And now, again, astrologically speaking, Libra, as one of the cardinal signs, you're sort of in the front line here of what's been going on with this long-running Uranus-Pluto aspect. This is the first year that we've been in for a while, which is going to have less Uranus-Pluto in the astrological news, because they are beginning to pull apart in 2015, but they are pretty tight and close together until mid-April. And you cardinal signs and you Libra, there's going to be the Uranian and the Pluto thing going on, but also there's going to be a lot of other really good aspects going on, which I talk about in the other video I made. So the cardinal signs tend to be the entrepreneurs of the zodiac. You're the movers and the shakers, and everything that's been going on with you and your kind, as it were, will be setting the precedent. Your reaction to these really quite non-judgmental, neutral energies, because the planets don't have opinions. They just are forces of nature. But it is our reaction to them. You, from our upbringing and our education, and are being dipped, a different color in our cultures, whatever our cultures are. So this has, this has been going on since, well, very strongly since 2012 with Uranus and Pluto in very close proximity to each other, the game changers, and they pop up in history when the game really does change across societies in the world. with Uranus in your opposite sign until 2019 and Pluto coming at your sun sign until 2024, you are undergoing a huge cosmic makeover. However, with them pulling apart in 2015, the trend is definitely upwards, and you will be getting less of the two of them on your Libra sun, where you were born in the sign of Libra, than you have been up until now. Now, Venus, your ruling planet, is in a stunningly good aspect to your sun this year for a very long time. And that is going to be when Venus goes into Leo from June the 6th to October the 9th. It's a very sociable vibration, makes it a great opportunity for you to join with others in a happy, supportive, good kind of a way, with good friends, making new friends, and realizing, the beauty in numbers rather than just the power of numbers and the safety in numbers, but indeed the safety in numbers, but the real camaraderie feeling there, the enabling there, and also others looking to you for that support and that enabling as well. So that looks like a really, really nice one. And also Jupiter's in there too, and Jupiter is there until August the 11th. So these two are really quite on a very positive vibration. These two are wonderful in this area here, which is to do with group affiliations, which is to do with friendships, but also is to do with things that you've had maybe on your mind to get round to, being on the back burner maybe for many, many years, but you just haven't had a chance to, or you didn't think you would really want to, and then you changed your mind and you had a change of heart, or whatever it is, and then that is very progressive, this energy. And these are two really great planets to have in there together, and they are actually right next to each other between June the 25th in conjunction, June 25th to July the 7th. And that it can be huge potential there for success and rewarding sorts of interactions, and maybe even something quite lucrative going on because of your connection with groups there between those dates there. But I will also say, actually, the whole time that Jupiter's in there, Jupiter went in there last year in July, and it's coming out in August, but particularly more likely when during that little time that Venus is in there, which is from June the 6th to October the 9th, but particularly about 10 days between June the 25th and June the 25th and July the 7th. Right, it's sometimes quite difficult to speak and to be thinking about different things at the same time, especially adding up. That's when I really do stumble. Okay, so, and then Jupiter, which of course I've spoken about before, but Jupiter is a meaning that there can be a very innovative and unconventional approach either from you with friends or with a large group of people, but also you maybe mixing and mingling with unconventional, for you, people. I mean, there might be unconventional, labeled that for everybody, but it's just you. It's definitely got this feeling of a bit of risk with it. It's a bit like, oh, I don't know about this. Is this safe? Or indeed, you might be saying, wow, this is wild. Let me at it. I mean, I don't know. And this will mean that you can team up with them, or they're appreciating you there on their team, and it's to do with teaching as well, Jupiter. It's very much to do with teaching, so you might be seen as the teacher, you might be seen as the facilitator, but also there could be somebody who is a good facilitator for you as well. And all of you Libra natives will be feeling that energy of Jupiter there. And then Jupiter moves on August the 11th, suggesting this will be a time to develop things behind the scenes, particularly in collaborations and projects which teach you new things. And this is the area where you will be needed as the support, needed to keep a weather eye on things, but also you need to take yourself off on a regular basis for nurturing life-enhancing activities, activities where you, or maybe not even activities, maybe just complete, just floating off somewhere, which is healing, which gets you in touch with yourself, like meditation, mindfulness. This is a big one now, mindfulness. So going on a course for mindfulness would be absolutely ideal. And you Librans born up to mid-October with 24 degrees rising, are going to feel that energy the most. So all the way through, right up to mid-October, or with 24 degrees rising. And also, the artists among you. Libra is known for its ability, its aesthetic ability, and you can, and appreciation, and you can really shine when Jupiter is in Virgo for such a long time, going to be there for a year from August the 11th. But really coming right out on stage, then that's going to be happening more and more and more strongly in 2016, I would say. Now Saturn has actually been really causing austerity materially in your life for a while, and Saturn is actually lifting out of that area there for most of 2015. Will make do an encore between June the 14th and September the 17th in the previous area where it's been for such a long time, since October 2012, in that area to do with austerity, in the area to do with you having to work much harder to push through the obstacles and the resistances and the hold-ups and the blocks and the delays, to do with anything which might make your life easier materially. However, Saturn came out of there on Christmas Eve and will stay in the new area until June the 14th, back into the old area and then back into the new area. And the new area is Sagittarius, putting Saturn in a really much more helpful angle to your sun sign Libra until 2017. So this suggests you'll have to work in a more regular way at communications, communication activity with communications equipment maybe, be more aware of schedules, deadlines. I've got to be here then, I've got to, that person's got to be here then. To be more aware of being responsible for you putting out your knowledge in a certain way, or to source knowledge, so go into education, or maybe it's not like that, maybe just cherry picking this, that, or the other thing, and again being very sort of self-disciplined about it, turning up every day and sitting there in order that something kind of pops into your mind. And this also goes for any of the arts as well, any medium of expression. Also working quite hard maybe on language, maybe on just improving your communication skills, that kind of thing, but improving things on a mental sort of level, learning that perceptions, your perceptions, others' perceptions are just that. They are perceptions, they are perspectives, they are standpoints, they are not the absolute truth. Nobody's got that one. Well, maybe they have, but they're not letting on. And I meant in the human world. So you come to realize that the human world is maybe one huge leviathan with many, 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 many truths which make up the whole truth. So as you slowly get to the bottom of what you really are thinking is the truth, or slowly get to the bottom of how much in your experience is perception and how much is truth, and you may realize you need to make some changes to your own habitual perspective, assumptions, expectations, just the way you communicate what you know and feel within. Okay, and so yeah, Saturn goes back 14th of June to 17th of September. You just there, not a great time for business type deals or negotiations, because that is just putting the squeeze on you a little bit more in that materialistic area. If you want to be doing that, try to be doing it when Venus actually is on the other side of that. So that might be, yes, Well, Venus is definitely going to be a buffer there, but it would be after September the 17th, probably, or indeed no, after September the 17th for Venus, but actually with Jupiter, it can be, any time up to June the 14th. But gradually you're getting things under control in that materialistic kind of way, to do with basic stuff, to do with property. I mean, this is going to be a bit of a bugbear for you, because Saturn has been in the area which is actually to do with property, but also Pluto has been in that area as well. So you've had Saturn and Pluto, which have been in each other's signs in mutual reception in these two areas, which is to do with where we're anchored, which is to do with, a launch pad in life. It's a crucial area. So it's not just about money, it's about, what belongs to me, where do I belong, who do I belong with? And it's also a good idea to build upon your assets and to capitalize upon your inborn gifts, and to actually realize that you do have them and they can be lucrative for you. And you Librans born right towards the end, from about the 27th from about the 17th of October, 27 degrees rising, are going to feel the energy of the this part of the old transit of Saturn the most. Uranus is transiting and will continue to transit your opposite sign, bringing the changes to do with close partnerships, but also one-to-one. And there's being some surprises there sometimes, you wondering about somebody's motivations or just their whereabouts, but also there can be a parting, either chosen or beyond your control. This is a series of sometimes a series of events to do with people in a one-to-one close partnership, or one-to-one relationship or close partnership. So this can be in your working life as well as your personal life, where you are learning again and again and again that really the only one you can rely upon is yourself. And so is to get into that much stronger, securer, more trusting relationship where you recognize yourself, you know yourself, you have faith in yourself. And then once you come to that serene place, everything starts to fall into place, really, externally, because where it's at is always how things sit within us. Okay, so then the changes, some of which can not be helped. It might be somebody who's undergoing changes which is beyond their control and you want to be there for them. Or it might be that in your working life you have to be very flexible and on your toes, because there's change about with what's coming towards you. You may, this is an experimental energy in your house of close relationship, whether that is in your in a love life, in the love department, or in a working sort of sense. So nothing is going to be really settling down there, and maybe getting a lot more boring until 2019, when Uranus comes out of there. Uranus rules amazing things. You could find that you cross paths with very interesting people, unorthodox people, unusual people. This has been going on in there since 2012. People that now you see them, now you don't, that kind of person. But when the dust settles, then you get clearer, but you have to be working on your relationship with yourself, and feeling that you don't have to define yourself by the opinion, the perception, the rules and regulations of, the moods of somebody else. but also having to accept that you've got to be on your toes, and you've got to sort of be as calm as you can, because other people maybe sometimes let you down. Maybe it's their fault, maybe it isn't. So, but you get drawn towards more unusual people. The other thing about Uranus here is it rules large groups. So you might be having more of an interaction with a large group of people, a collective who've got a certain interest in common, specialist, but it doesn't have to be that. It can just be that, you know, it's like a club, it's like a tribe, and they laugh at the same things, or they like to do the same offbeat sorts of activities, or whatever it is, okay? And there as well, you've got this growing sort of understanding and deeper kind of connection, perhaps with them as well, bouncing ideas off them, getting, you know, feedback from them, from their reaction, etc., etc. And you Librans, born between the 4th and the 14th of October, or with 11 to 21 degrees rising, going to feel the energy of that the most. And then that's over the whole year. And then, of course, we've got Pluto at the root of your chart, meaning that there will be sometimes emotions coming to the surface about where you feel you belong, who you belong with, questions hanging over old affinities, maybe intensity related to parents, related to the past, maybe childhood conditioning comes up to be questioned, and you're looking at that and your affinities are changing. Maybe it's to do with place on the map, where you belong, who you belong with, where exactly should I be now, and then more maybe intense experiences. But the thing is, the old way probably isn't going to hold for you, because Pluto is such a radical transformer and at the root of your chart, you see. So you have to really accept the hand of destiny is at your back, and there may have to be some very, very fundamental shifts in your thinking about where actually you should be on this earth, and who with, and why, and sort of questions like that. But also there could be these sorts of deeper questions coming to you because of a family member. Or because of people in the neighborhood, you know, you feeling as though you want to get more control over your home base, your domestic setup, and things that are private, you know, in your life. But this long transit of Pluto through your home area will change this most personal area of your life, or will help change it, because you're going to do the rest. And the basis of, as this foundation of your life changes, as the routines at the foundation of your life change, so will the trajectory of your general life direction and your career and your profession change. And you Librans born, let's see, you Librans born between the 4th and the 9th of October, or with 11 to 16 degrees rising, you guys are going to feel the energy the most at the moment, whether that's on your sun or whether that is on those degrees or on any other planet that might be there. And then the current transit of Neptune is pulling you to function from deeper, more sensitive, energetic levels, to do with healing, to do with anything to do with health matters, but also to do with work, the way you work, the methods you use. So having to be more the sensitive, understanding, you know, servant, the sort of the really your Merlin, but actually you're getting called Wart. You know what I mean? Some of you will know what I mean there. You know, you're this powerful being, but you're having to be this most humble, modest, helpful, understanding, supportive being as well, in all of your greatness. And of course, this is one of the this is one of the elements of greatness, is to be there to serve and to be and not to have a huge, you know, towering ego. So shout that loud to the people in positions of power in this world. This is a very long transit, so this has you giving more freely of your services to other in a more compassionate, understanding kind of way. However, there have to be boundaries as well. So maybe you're very flexible and you're very helpful and you're very compassionate, but you've got a schedule, okay, and and also to yourself, being more understanding and sensitive and sensitive to your own needs, on a very sort of physical level, but also on the other levels as well. Yoga, meditation, mindfulness, all good, all great with Neptune here. And anything to do with the arts as well, any way of using your imagination, fantastic. And you Librans or Libra rising or Libra moon people, if you're born 27th of September to the 4th of October, this is for Libra sun, or with 4 to 11 degrees rising, you're going to feel the energy the most. And that's it for 2015. I wish you well for the whole of 2015. All of this is written up on my website. I hope you have I hope you can have an enlightening year, a really, really joyous year, and I'll see you the next time.